Academic, Chapter 10, Section 1, Day 1 notes. All right? Let's go back to the basics. Back to the basics, okay? Does anyone remember what a quadratic equation is? What's a quadratic equation? That's the quadratic formula. A quadratic equation is a polynomial. It's a polynomial.
Are you going to screen share?
No, not kidding. That'd be hilarious. Actually, that'd be kind of annoying, but hilarious. I was just like, no. We're gonna have verbal notes today. For everyone who is a auditory learner, we're just gonna have verbal notes. We're gonna have, it's a polynomial where the highest exponent is 2. Okay. The graph of a polynomial, of a quadratic equation is called a parabola. It's the graph of a quadratic equation. What's it shaped like? Yeah, a little horseshoe. Ow. My back just started moving. That's what happens when you're 25. You start to break apart. I think it's that shape. You also stop exercising when you get out of high school because you don't like sports anymore. Unless you like start diligent or do it on your own and like are self-motivated, which I'm not. Alright, cool. So we've got a bunch of quadratic equations here. Okay? What we're going to do with these quadratic equations, can you guys see how these are quadratic equations? Right? The highest exponent is 2. Okay? We're going to write them in vertex. We're going to practice making sure they're written in vertex form. Vertex form is y equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. Alright? So my a, that's the number that's in front of my parentheses. My h is the opposite. It's the opposite of the number that's inside my parentheses next to x. And my k is the exact same as the number that's added or subtracted outside my parentheses. Does that make sense? Yeah. So a is the number that's right in front of my parentheses. Right? There's an a there. H is the number that's inside my parentheses, but it's the opposite of that. It's the opposite of the number inside my parentheses. K is the exact same as the number that's outside my parentheses. All right. Okay. So, direction of opening, okay? A parabola, that little horseshoe graph, it will open up when a is greater than 0 and down when a is less than 0. The vertex is all, for this one, when you're squaring x, is h comma k. The AOS, axis of symmetry, is x equals. You have to write x equals. Please write x equals. Please write x equals. X equals h. Min-max value is k. And yeah. Okay. For graphing, you plot the vertex, and then you draw your horseshoe in the proper direction. guys write that down. Let me know when you're done writing. All right. I'm gonna move on. Okay. This one I kind of don't like. This example kind of frustrates me. It is the parent graph. Okay. So this is technically y equals x minus 0 squared plus 0. Right. If you do a minus or plus 0, it doesn't change anything. Right. It doesn't change anything. So what's my, and there's technically a what in front of the parentheses. 1, yeah. So what's my h? What's my h? 0. The number that's inside. What's my k? 0. What's my a? 1, which is greater or less than 0? Greater. Prove it. Okay. I don't think you can prove that. Probably not, no. Can't prove this dichotomy property. All right, direction of opening then is where? Where's my vertex? 0, 0. What's my AOS? No. There we go. Boom. Love it. I love it. Min-max value? 0. You just copy down K. Is that going to be a min here or a max? Min. And to confirm that, let's graph it, and then I'll show you why. Okay. So we plot the vertex, and then we got to draw a horseshoe facing up. Okay. Now my vertex, do you guys know what I mean by vertex? The vertex is the point on the end. The point on the end. Okay, the vertex is at the bottom of my graph, right? You guys see that? So it's gonna be a min. So circle min. Min. Min, 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 min. Min, 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 min. Mini, min, mini. Mini, min, 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 min. All right, I kind of don't like that. That example's soft. That example's soft. Soft. Can I do B? B. Okay, what's my h technically?
0.
Yeah, there's an x minus 0 squared plus 2. Okay, technically there's a 1. What's my h? 0. What's my k? 2. What's my a? Which is greater than 0. So my direction of opening is where? Up. What's my vertex? What's my AOS? What's my maximum value? 2. Is that going to be a min or a max here? Min. Okay. So I'm going to plot my vertex point, 0, 2. I'm going to draw a horseshoe facing up. Okay. Can I move on to C? All right, I'm going to move on to C. What's my H?
2.
2. What's my K?
0.
Yeah, there's technically a plus 0 there. For my H? So H is the opposite of the number that's inside my parentheses. So because there's a minus 2 inside my parentheses, my H is positive 2. Does that make sense? What's my A? 1. My direction of opening then is what? Up. My vertex is what? My AOS is what? X equals 2. My min-max value is what? What? 0. You copy down K. Copy down K for that. Is that going to be a min or a max? Well, let's draw our graph and see. Plot the vertex. Draw your horseshoe facing up. Is my min-max value, is that a min or a max? Min. So let's circle min. And there we go. Here we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, can I move on to the next one? All right, I'll take that as a yes. It's not helping you. And the note's not helping you. With me. All right, D, part D. Okay. What's my H here? -1, right? It's the opposite of whatever number is inside the parentheses. K is what? A is what? Which is less than 0, right? So what's my direction of opening here? What's my vertex? Love it. What's my AOS? Love it. What's my min-max value? -1. And to see if it's a min or max, let's graph it. So -1, -1. My horseshoe opens down. So is this a min or a max? Max. It's a max. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I actually wrote a proof that, I wrote a similar proof. I wrote a proof that a parabola like this has no maximum value. You can also write a proof that an equation like that has no minimum value. I wrote that for Mason Unton one time. It was kind of funny. It's probably still in my Google Drive. Whip that out. You guys want to see a proof? You guys want me to prove it for you, or you just take my word for it? Yeah. Didn't know if we had any radical skepticists in here. Or skeptics. Skepticist is not a word. I don't know if we had any radical skeptics in here. There's some radical skeptic philosophers. There's a philosophy professor at Georgetown who doesn't believe in electrons. He's skeptical. But he's like a philosopher of science, though. So like when you try to argue with him, he just like shuts you down. He just like dunks on you. You're like, dude.
Yeah, it's a hard guy to argue with.
Yeah, I know. You're like, man, like I really feel like electrons exist. I just don't know what to say to this guy. Anyway, I digress. Stop getting me off topic. I'm kidding. I get myself off topic. Okay, can I do part E? What's different here? We've never seen this before. Now I'm squaring y. It gets harder. Now I'm squaring y. Now I'm squaring y. Okay? Now I'm squaring y. When squaring y, I'll do this in red. Well, first of all, let me put this in vertex form. Vertex form's the same. It's still y minus 0 squared plus 0. Okay? Your h and k are all still the same thing. Okay? When squaring y, when y is squared, when squaring y, okay, a, h, and k are the same. They're still the same values that you write down. Okay? Stuff gets different, though. It gets different. It gets different. Direction of opening, when a is greater than 0, it opens to the right. When a is less than 0, it opens to the left. Okay? Your vertex is k comma h. Your AOS is y equals h. Your max and min value is still k. Okay? And it's going to be a min when we open right. It's going to be a max when we open left. Okay, write that down, write that down, write that down. Write that down, write that down. Okay, so stuff changes now. Now we're doing sideways parabolas. Sideways. Does that make sense?
What happened to the axis of symmetry?
It's y equals h.
Oh, I was thinking.
Okay. Okay. I want you to write that down. Are we good? Okay, it looks like a lot of us have written it down, okay? So let's do this first example. Let's switch back to teal. What's my A here? 1. What's my H? 0. K is what? Okay, so you just got to keep everything straight in your head, okay? It's a lot of memorization. What's my direction of opening here? It's going to be to the right. Right? That's because I'm squaring y. Now instead of squaring x, I'm squaring y. Y has the square on it, okay? And my A is positive. What's my vertex? 0, 0. Yeah, this is not a good example. What's my AOS? Yes. What's my maximum value? Copy down K. And then let's draw the graph, okay? So I'm going to, it's the same thing. Plot the vertex. I got to draw a horseshoe facing right. So is that a max or a min? Is my 0 max or a min? It's a min. It's on the left side. X gets smaller as we go to the left. So when your vertex is on the left side, it's a min. Okay, I'm going to skip F. I don't think that example will help us. I respect 2017 Pearson Education Incorporated, but I don't think F's going to help us. Can I go to G? Let's go to G. Okay. This is technically in vertex form. It's -3 times y minus 0, quantity squared plus 0. Okay. What's my H here? 0. What's my K? What's my A? And I want you guys to write this down for your sake. Are we squaring x or y? We're squaring y, okay? So with that in mind, with the fact that we're squaring y in mind, what's my direction of opening? Left. Right? A is less than 0. We're squaring y, so we're going to open left. What's my vertex? Yeah, also not the best example. What's AOS? Y equals 0, okay? Another reason for the other ones you have to write, give me an x equals, you got this one is y equals, okay? Maximum value is what? And is that, let's, nice job. Yep, so let's plot the vertex. We've got to draw our horseshoe facing left, right. My vertex is on the right side of the graph, and x gets bigger as I go to the right. So it's going to be a max. Max fin. Are there any other maxes in your grade? Max has always been like a steadily popular name. There are a lot of maxes in my grade. Wait, really? Starting with like some guy named Max, some Roman dude named Maximus. Is Max like short for Maximus? Or Maximilian? Or Maxwell?
It's like max and then insert has to be.
The Latin language, man. All right, can I do H? What's my H? 2. Still the number inside my parentheses. Only flip them around for the vertex. When you get to the vertex step, then you flip them. Yeah, it's fine. It's the first time looking at this. You've learned this for 10 minutes, so you're good. K is what? 1. What's A? 1, yeah. And am I squaring x or y? I'm asking you. Don't ask me why. Okay. That was a dad joke. Anyway. So what's my direction of opening? To the right. What's my vertex? Now I flip-flop. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. Don't flip-flop till you get to the vertex part. It's my AOS. Y equals, it's 2, right? Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, stop burping, sorry. I just did a donut. Maximum value is what? 1. Okay, you still copy down K for that. So let's plot this 1, 2, opens to the right. Is that going to be a min or a max? Min. It's on the left side. Left side, strong. Left side. Okay, let me know when you guys are done writing. Can I do I? Can I do part I? Okay, what's my H? Jack, what's my H? There you go. What's my K? There you go. What's my A? And am I squaring X or Y? We're squaring Y. Okay. What's my direction of opening? Left. What's my vertex? Yeah, now we flip. Well, this is not the best example, but now we flip. What's my Y? I just gave it away. Yeah. There you go. What's my maximum value? -3. It's going to be a max, and that's because I opened left. We'll see that momentarily. Right? So my vertex, right, it's on the right end of the graph. X gets bigger as I go to the right, so it's going to be a max. Right? Because maxes are bigger than mins. Okay. All right, now at this point, the rest of the examples, all heck breaks loose, okay? All right, all heck breaks loose. Okay. Hey, these are done. Partake. Okay, so now, what's going on here? Is this in vertex form? You don't do slope intercept for quadratics. Not in vertex form. How do we get it in vertex form? I'll do this in red, so we don't. I feel like red's a more active color than group blue. Not in vertex form. Hey, how do you know it's not in vertex form? There's there's technically because there's no. Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, so no parentheses, right? How do we make it in vertex form? How do we get it in vertex form? Oh, yes. I like the way you think like a mathematician. You gotta, all right, you guys, this is gonna be disappointment. You have to complete the square. You gotta complete the square. So a little review of completing the square, okay? Little review, complete the square review. Do you have extra space to write? I want to write this on the board. Okay, actually I'll just write the steps here, okay? Complete the square. The way you do that, okay, make sure your lead coefficient is 1. Make sure your lead coefficient is 1. If not, factor it out of just the first 2 terms. That's the first step. Second step, okay? Take the number next to x or y, what you do, you take that number, you divide it by 2 and square it. Divide it by 2 and square. Divide it by 2 and square. What you do with that number is you add and subtract that number. You add and subtract that number to your equation. Okay, and then step 3, I'll write it down here. Step 3, factor the first 3 terms, simplify the other 2. Simplify, and this will make more sense when we do one. So while you're writing that one down, I'll set up this first problem. We're going to force this to be in vertex form. We've got to get this in vertex form. So my equation here, I'll make sure the camera is pointed at the whiteboard. Equation is y equals x squared minus 4x plus 1. Okay, this is a little tough, guys, okay? Okay. So first step, I got to make sure. Wait, are you guys done writing? I'll give you more time to write. Like no one's writing. Okay. First is my lead coefficient 1. Yeah, so I can skip that first step, okay? That's a lot easier to do these when that first number is not 1. Next step, what do we do? What's my number that's next to x? Next to x. Not x squared, just x. Negative 4. Negative 4. Okay? What was my mnemonic device I used? You're interested in your x. Interested in your x. Okay? You take that negative 4, what do I do with it? I divide it by 2, and then I do what? I square all of that. Okay, what's this equal to? 4. Okay? What do I do with that 4? So what I do, I'm going to have y equals x squared minus 4x. Then what I do is I take that number that I just got, that I just came up with, I add it, and I subtract it. And then copy down your plus 1. Okay?
So it's just like it would be the same thing.
What?
Like, the same.
It's going to have the same value, it's just going to be written differently. So you can see what your HK and A are. Yeah. Yeah. So I cannot just up and add 4 to this without changing the value of it, and I'm not allowed to do that. So I have to add 4 and subtract 4. So what I did was I subtracted 0, or I added 0 to this. I did plus 4 minus 4. I'm allowed to do that in algebra.
So basically that step's like unnecessary.
No, it's completely necessary.
Why?
Okay. Now what I'm going to do is adding the 4 here allows me to factor this. That'll factor to what now, since I have a plus 4? What does x squared minus 4x plus 4 factor to? No. Set up your shell. They're both positive. Negative. They're both negative. 2 factors of 4 that add to 4. Now it factors to x minus 2 times x minus 2, which is just x minus 2 squared. So what happens, because I have that plus 4 here now, this will factor to x minus 2 squared. Okay? And what's minus 4 plus 1? Negative 3. Okay? Now I can write down what? What's my h? 2. What's my k? Negative 3. What's my a? 1. That's why I added that. That's why I needed that plus 4 there, Blythe, so I could factor it to this, so it would factor nicely. Yeah. Yeah. So Let's do this first one. We completed the square. It became y equals x minus 2 quantity squared minus 3. Okay, we're squaring x. Write down what you're squaring for your own sake. We're squaring x, h is 2, k is negative 3, a is 1, which is greater than 0. Okay. So now what's my direction of opening? What's that? Up, yep. It's up. We're squaring x now this time. We're squaring x instead of y, and my a is positive. So my parabola is going to open up. What's my vertex? 2, negative 3, right? It's h comma k. It's h comma k because I'm squaring x. What's my AOS? X equals 2. X equals h. X equals 2 because I'm squaring x. Maximum value, I always do what? Copy down k. Yeah. And then, yeah, if you're having trouble circling min or max, just plot it. Graph your equation. Is that a min or a max?
It's a min.
It's a min, yep. So that's how we do those, okay? Separates the adults from the children. What? It is fine. That's 291. I'm terrible, I'm terrible. All right, so let's do number K. Let's do letter K. So completing the square is difficult for us. We need lots of practice. Hey, we're going to be completing the square like all chapter, by the way. Like everything is completing the square. Not everything, but a lot. We have to complete the square to learn about circles. We're learning about circles next. Yeah. Fine. Okay, so I have x equals negative 2y squared plus 12y minus 8. Okay. All right, this one's a pain in the butt. I can say butt in class, I think. Okay. Okay. What do I do first? I need this lead coefficient to be 1, right? Right now it's negative 2. So I got to do what with that negative 2? I'm not going to divide. I'm going to factor it out of the first two terms. Okay? I'm going to pull a negative 2 out. Okay? I'm not going to do that. Just the negative 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why can't you pull the y out?
I can pull the y out. But these first two terms,
Yeah.
I can do that. They both have a y. But I'm not going to do it.
I know it has a y now.
Ah, you're about to see. So it's not. I'm not going to be able to factor it if I pull the y out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then what's this become? 12 divided by what I just pulled out. What's 12 divided by negative 2? Negative 6y. Okay. Leave the minus 8 outside. We did not factor negative 2 out of that, so just leave that chilling over here. Leave my guy chilling over here. Okay. And I left a little space here and here. Why did I do that? What did I do on that last problem?
Oh, add and subtract.
There you go. Now you have an idea. So what do I do with that negative 6? Divided by 2 and square. What's that give me? 9. So I'm going to add 9 in here. I'm going to add 9 in there. What do I put here? Good guess. Not quite. This is subtle. This is subtle. This is what I have to do. Instead of minusing 9 out here, what I do is I multiply that plus 9 that I just wrote down by that number in front. That gives you what? Negative 18? And so that's negative 18. Since it's a minus 18, I'm going to add 18 out here. So it's a little different. Lots of subtleties. Right?
So what?
Here's why, yeah. So I'm not just allowed to add a 9 to an equation, right? I'm not just allowed to subtract a number or add a number without doing the opposite as well. Okay? So when I put a plus 9 in here, what I really did was I subtracted 18 from the entire right side. Because by putting a plus 9 here, inside parentheses that have a negative 2 multiplying them, what I really did was I subtracted 18 from the whole right side. So to offset that minus 18, I have to do a plus 18. Okay? And then denia, this is why I did that. This is why I did not pull out the y's. What will this factor to? Y minus 3 squared. Plus 18 minus 8. What does that simplify to? Plus 10. Boom. Vertex form. Let's go. What'd you say? Oh, I said shut up. Like, dang. You're really comfortable in this class. Okay, so there's my vertex form. So this equation, when I write it in vertex form, becomes x equals there you go. That's the money right there. Make some money with that. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if they really pay you to complete the square. Are there any jobs where you just get paid to complete the square? I don't know. My job kind of. Yeah, what's up? The plus 18. So I did a plus 9 here, right? But that plus 9 is inside parentheses, right? What number is multiplying everything inside these parentheses? Negative 2. What's negative 2 times 9? Negative 18. So I'm not offsetting 9 here. I'm offsetting negative 18. So I got to do a plus 18 outside. Why 18? Because negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. And the opposite of negative 18 is positive 18.
No, why the number 18? Why couldn't you just be like, how did you get 18 to offset?
Yeah, so what I did, I can't just add, so when I put a plus 9 inside these parentheses, what I really did was I subtracted 18 from the whole right side.
Yeah, but
And when I can't just subtract 18 without changing the equation. I can't just subtract 18 without, I'm just not allowed to do that in algebra. I'm not allowed to just up and subtract an 18. What I am allowed to do is I'm allowed to subtract and add the same number at the same time. And I'm allowed to do that because these immediately cancel.
why was it 18 and not used?
Because this negative 6, I did divide by 2 and I squared it, it gave me 9. I always do that, yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. Got to the root of that one. All right, what's my A? Negative 2. Am I squaring y or x? I'm squaring y, so keep that in mind. What's my h? Positive 3. What's my k? Positive 10. What's my direction of opening then? Left. What's my vertex? 10, 3. But we've been doing h comma k the whole time. Because we're squaring y, remember, it's k comma h, it's split. What's my AOS? Y equals 3, but we've been doing x equals 3 the whole time. Right? We're squaring y here, so we have to do y equals 3. Okay? What's my maximum value? Just 10. And it's going to be, well, let's see. If when in doubt, graph it out. When in doubt, graph it out. Vertex is 10, 3. Sorry, it's going to be off the axis a little bit. Okay, Daniel, is that a max or a min? My vertex is on the right end. Max, yeah. Good, we'll stop there. These get harder. These, like this one, that's as hard as it gets. That's as hard as it gets. We'll stop there, though. Let's do the assignment number 39 worksheet for Monday, okay? So yeah, so this just gets a little harder. A little bit of factoring review, right? That video is money. I'm going to upload this.